All right, welcome back to the Prem Trifecta. It's been a while, but we're back. We had a little bit of a break. And looks like we made it back in time for one of the probably the biggest game week for the Premier League. We have this week the two top of the two teams face each other at the Etihad. And then what we thought would be an exciting game honestly turned out to be probably one of the worst games in this game week. United versus Chelsea. Probably one of the lower quality games, but kind of happened. But I think we should probably kick it off with Arsenal Man City.
All right.
You just want me to
So
start, man? You wanna
yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, I think you should. I think you start.
just okay, sure. I can recap the game real quick, and then we can talk about whatever talking points you want to talk about.
Sweet.
Um, I think to recap the game real quick, I think it was. I think going into the game, it was one of those games where obviously all we need to do is draw, but there was a lot of probably fan pressure more than anything else pushing us to win it. And when I mean fan pressure, usually it's outside fans. Like I remember in 23-24, um, it was a lot of outside fans, rival fans saying, "Oh, Arsenal need to go there and win. Arsenal need to go there and win." Whereas, all Arsenal fans were happy with the draw. And when we got that draw, we were happy. Unfortunately, we lost to Villa, and that ended up costing us the league. But back then, a draw was good. Whereas this time, because of our last few results and because of, I guess, how much we let it slip in the past few weeks, Arsenal fans are basically demanding a win. And to be honest, I felt kind of like that too. I felt kind of like we deserved the win, and the only way it would be deserve the win, as in from a fan POV, the only way where I could be comfortable about where this league was gonna go was if we won that game. If we drew that game, it was still gonna be tight. If we lost that game, it's still gonna be tight, but now it's in their hands, not ours. But if we won that game, I could have been a little bit more comfortable, and not been stressed this whole time. But that was the outlook going into it. Was is most fans wanted us to win, and Arsenal fans were basically demanding a win, which is kind of unusual going to the Etihad. Uh, but it is what it is, and I thought the lineup was probably the most important thing for me. I was talking to Ashwin about it. Um, I said there were three things that I was praying for. I was praying for Havertz to start in the nine and Gyökeres to be on the bench. We got that. I was praying for Calafiori to be fit and start at left back. We didn't get that. I was praying for Timber to be fit and start at right back. We didn't get that. We did get a cool surprise, which I've been begging for a while, which is as the left wing. Was he the and Odegaard in the 10? Was it the best? I thought not really, but as they did have a few moments where he, lit it up and almost basically got us what would have been at that point the leading goal. But it is what it is. Um, I thought we started the game shaky a little bit. Maybe first 5, 10, 15, they had a little wave. Then after that, we steadied. They scored, but and then we clapped back right away. And then after that, we had a wave of momentum a little bit. Um, and then I think it kind of tailed off a little bit. It's kind of steadied. It was 50-50 for the rest of that half for the most part. Then I think the second half, just like the first half, they started off with a good start. But I think we studied off a little bit. Um, we studied off a little bit, but then they just like they had a moment. That moment goes and leads to a goal. For me, it didn't feel like it went against the run of play, but it didn't feel like the game was in their hands at that point. If they scored in the first 15 minutes, I would have said yeah, it was coming. But at that point in the game, it felt like we wrestled back control a little bit, and it was now in the 50-50 stage. Obviously, they had more possession. They're at home. That's what you expect. And they've also had the momentum going into this game, so you would expect them to have the possession and etc. etc. This is a City team at the end of the day, but um, I think that goal kind of killed us a little bit. And again, first goal was as a mistake, but you kind of let it go because of the magic he can create. Martinelli gets subbed on because Madueke isn't really doing anything offensively, and defensively is a liability. And what does Martinelli do? He loses his man. So clear as day. You can see the photo. There's so many photos of it now where Odegaard tells Martinelli, track O'Reilly. I don't know what Martinelli's doing. He lets O'Reilly go. Donnarumma just throws the ball to him, and boom. Now they have O'Reilly powerful 6'4" fucking titan driving at our defense, right? And so from there, that frustrating goal, because again, just like the Villa goal, it was just a stupid error. Just like the one of the other goals we conceded, I can't remember what game it was, but it was recent. Maybe it was Bournemouth. Another just stupid goal. Yeah, Bournemouth, the first goal. Another stupid mistake just by the wingers not being switched on, which is unusual for us, especially with Martinelli, who's been here for enough time to understand
Mhm.
what he's supposed to do. Um, and I thought after that, the game kind of stalled out a little bit. And then the last 10, 15 minutes, I thought we tried and we tried and we tried. I remember in maybe the 60, maybe like the 70th, 75th minute, Havertz had a 1-on-1 with Donnarumma, could have went in, got unlucky there. Honestly, the ball was a little too light, so Havertz had to push it wide. He couldn't just shoot it. He had to push it wide and then shoot it, which narrowed his angle, is what it is. So like I don't blame him for that one. The one I do blame him for is right at the end of the game. I can't remember who whips it in, but someone whips in a beautiful cross and Havertz heads it right over the crossbar. And from then, that was you. We all
It was
knew. I
Trossard.
think
Yeah.
it was Trossard. Yeah, it was Trossard. You're right. I think
Mhm.
we all knew at that point that was the moment, that was the chance that if we were gonna score and equalize, it was that chance. And honestly, it felt the best player in terms of early besides Gabriel. We even had the Gabriel corner chance early on with Mascara. We also had one with, like I said, with Gabriel that hit the post. Eze hit the other post. So if I'm looking at the game, the performance was a good performance. I can't take too many negatives away from it. I think the Turkey goal was magic, and the Madueke and the Howland goal was just a Martinelli mistake. Um, but besides those two, just like bits of play, I thought that we generally played the game exactly how we wanted. Just didn't finish our chances. So I thought the performance was something that was a positive, but obviously the result a massive, massive negative. And considering we lost to Bournemouth last week, it means that it's in their hands now. They go and they win midweek, and then we'll be in the same amount of games until the weekend when they play the FA Cup and we play Newcastle, and then we'll have a game in hand. But for a few days, they'll be top of the league again, most likely, because they'll play Burnley.
Well,
Pretty good.
I've got. Oh,
Yeah, go on.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, pretty accurate rundown of the game, to be honest. I don't know, it kind of felt like earlier in the game, it felt like you guys probably like settled in more than City did. I don't know
Mm.
why. It just
Yeah,
kind of felt
I
like you
was.
guys were in the game more first half. Um,
Yeah.
and you know what, bro? As soon as I saw that the Donnarumma mistake, I'm like, you know what? Like maybe they could capitulate. Like it low-key reminded me of like you guys when we played you guys, and then it kind of flipped over, right? So I was like, you know what? Like maybe same thing can happen here. Like maybe City get in their heads, and then you guys take advantage of that. But I think Donnarumma he held it down till the end, bro. He had two brilliant saves. That decision to release the ball quickly to lead to Holland's goal. I think like him. I think one person that a lot of people are overlooking who played brilliant in that game, Bernardo Silva. I think
Ooh,
these
what a
guys,
game!
dude. For Bernardo Silva, what a
What a
game, bro!
game!
Like what a game! I think these guys were just locked in, and it was you guys. I think like you guys gave it more than what neutral fans and I think even some of your own fans expected,
Mm.
especially coming from that Bournemouth game. So,
Yeah.
end of the day, not a good result. I don't know if you could say that's a positive from what you saw today, but yeah, I would say that you guys did put in more of a fight. And that's kind of been like the whole kind of what do you call it? Like the whole people are saying that's what's wrong with Arsenal, right? Like their mentality, they don't have that fight in them. They, once something happens, they put their heads down. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think we really saw that today. So
No, I don't think we did. Like I think I
no, I don't think we did.
agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Like I think the result, obviously there's no positives. The
yeah,
performance, we play like that against anyone else and we'll win. So going into those last 5 games, keep that level up and we'll win all those 5 games, right?
Yeah.
Keep that level, which just means keep fucking Havertz in the nine. Don't let Gyökeres touch the pitch. Like don't let him start. And brother, we will go and probably win almost all of those games.
Mm.
And then we'll see what happens with City.
Here's my take on this whole thing. Firstly, I personally feel that
with the way you guys started the season, the way the season was progressing, this league should have ideally been wrapped up long before this game.
Yeah.
The momentum you guys are playing in,
Yeah.
the form that you guys are in, the absolute, defensive structure that you guys had, the players that, were in form at the time. This league should have been wrapped up a while ago. And so the fact that you're put into this position now, I feel like it's embarrassing. And it's not embarrassing for the players because this is not a reflection of the players on the team. In my opinion, I feel that Arsenal as a roster, the players that they have, this is a team that should be winning a couple of trophies. This is a team that should have a couple of, maybe at least one Prem, maybe one or two other trophies on the side. You should be reaping the success of the squad that you've built right now. So I don't think that, I think first of all, this league should have been wrapped up ages ago. And secondly, we had this conversation in the chat. I know you said regarding Arteta, you want to wait till the end of the season, but I have an opinion on it right now. I personally think if you guys don't win a trophy, Arteta has to go. This is a team that should be up there, should be winning, on paper, it should be winning a few trophies, at least. Maybe not in the season, but I'm saying over the progression of, 4 or 5 seasons, this should be a team that is bringing in success. And
Yeah.
you have these talented players that you've brought in, right? You have magic all across your pitch. You have Saka, you have Eze, you have, sure, like they're not like elite, elite top echelon players, but like Trossard, Havertz, even Gyökeres, I would say, like, these are players that you look around in your like they're
Player
not.
wise,
I'm not
yes.
talking.
He
I'm
just
not
picked the
talking.
team, but yeah, he's talking about
Yeah,
player
I'm not
profile,
talking.
I'd
I'm
say.
not talking like the elite of the elite. But if you collectively look at the rotation of players that you have, this is a team that should be getting over the line.
Like on
And the
paper.
one,
Can
yeah,
I?
on paper,
Yeah.
and respectfully, if no trophy comes to fruition this year, it's all on the manager. And the second reason why I say, hey, Arteta should go after this, I get the guy built you up to this point right now, but in the end, we're not talking about like, some mid-table team that's somehow strong and they've got this manager that's built them all the way up here, and he should be honored for the fact that they built him up here and shouldn't be sacked because he's not winning trophies. This is one of the biggest clubs in the world, right? This is one of the biggest clubs in London. Some will say it is the biggest club in London, right? This is a club with history. This is a club that's won many trophies in the past. And for them to say, "Oh, this guy's been in for 7, 8 seasons. He hasn't won a trophy since the FA Cup in like 2020. Since he's built us up to this point right now, we should just keep him in right now, and then we should honor the fact that he's built him up to this point." I feel like is BS,
Let me
right?
let me give you a rebuttal to both your points, right? First, in terms of let's. I don't want to do this right now, which is why I said let's do it at the end of the season. But topics brought up because I don't think the season's over for us. Like I said, right? I don't think this is a city
Of
that
course, yeah.
Yeah.
will guaranteed go 6-6. Like they have 3 games on the bounce. That I could see them dropping points at any one of them. Not all of them, but any one of them, right? And will they? Probably not, given the way they are right now. But I could see it happening. So I don't want to say the season's over because it's far from over. You never know, right? And it goes down to goal difference. You literally never know, right? So I don't want to give up and say that the season's over. But regarding the players, I think some of these guys definitely don't have the required mentality. If I'm being honest, like I think I don't. I told you. I don't really want to say it mid-season, but it's not like what I say impacts them anyway. But I think, for example, and I've said it for a while, and I've always been on this side. I think I thought the biggest difference between Saliba and Gabriel was their technical ability. But the more, especially this season, the more I've thought about it, it's not just technical. It's also the mental side. Saliba is always calm, makes a mistake against Real Madrid, but can you name really any other big mistakes from this guy? Not really. He doesn't really get red cards. Yeah, Bournemouth last season, but we all know that was a weird red card. Like that wasn't a really consistent one. Besides that, he doesn't really get red cards. Doesn't get too many yellows either. He doesn't really get booked that much. This guy doesn't really make that many errors, and if he does make errors, he usually redeems it in terms of not scoring a goal, meaning like he redeem it in that same action. Whereas Gabriel, you can see on the ball sometimes he panics a little bit. Off the ball, sometimes he panics a little bit. He'll make a mistake, and sometimes he'll get it back in a goal, like he did against Bournemouth away. But I feel like if I'm looking at the past few months, a a big problem with our team has been the idea of Gabriel, for example, being one of our leaders, but you can see he's low key panicking, right? And so I don't think the mentality thing works for everyone. I don't think the mentality thing works for everyone in that team, but I think the mentality thing definitely runs through a few of these players. And bro, Gabriel is a main starter for us, and when he was running like in the first half of the season, when he was one of the best center backs in the world, you didn't see any of these errors. But since maybe I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, you've seen plenty of errors, losing the ball, misplacing passes when we're under pressure, right? Hoofing the ball instead of just remaining composed and keeping it, stuff like that. It's like at some point this doesn't feel like Arteta's instructions to just randomly blast the ball, right? And sometimes even when it is, it's not with technical, like there's no technique behind it. He's just hoofing it, right? And you can tell it's because we're getting pressed, for example. I think that's one thing. I think I didn't like to say it, but I do think that there's a few players in this team that until we win, there's going to be a mental fragility. I don't think, by the way, what I'm saying, I'm just saying a few. I'm not saying all of them. But I do think Gabriel is one of them, where until he wins, he does have that fragility. And that's a bunch of elite center backs or a bunch of elite players in history until they've won had that mental fragility. Then they win and then they completely 180, right? So, like, I'm not saying that this guy is not an elite center back and not up there with, it's not that he can be put in those conversations if he does end up winning. Um, in terms of with the best center backs in Prem history, but brother, right now, I feel like mentally, he kind of just shows me that there's a few players in this team that have that weakness. That's the one
But
thing.
then,
That's wait. That's the first
Okay,
point,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
to move on to the second point, I think the the reason why, yes, I agree with your analysis on Arteta that we should have won more trophies. But if you actually look at the state of the teams that he's had in every year, there's a major flaw with every single one of them, right? And this season has probably been the one season where I can say his squad is optimal. But then when you actually look at the performances of our players in this season, I don't know if you would look at it now going into the summer and be like, oh yeah, this squad is still optimal. For example,
Mm.
Norgard, we thought this guy would be an amazing rotating midfielder that would be able to rotate with Rice and Zubamendi, bring some experience. But if you watch him for us, our whole game model was centered around control. When every single time Norgard starts, you can see it if you pay attention to him. He doesn't have the IQ to be in the six and control a game for us. He also doesn't have the IQ to be in a double pivot to replace Zubi and Rice. Because Zubi and Rice's rotations and the way they press, it takes high IQ. You can't do that as a low IQ player. It takes high IQ to rotate the way they do, to go right, go left, drop in, and all that this type of stuff. If you saw Rice today, he was pressing at times. He was pressing Rodri in Donnarumma's box. Those type of rotations you can't do unless you're high IQ and you have the physicality for it, right? And so I've noticed that with this guy, a guy that was supposed to help us rotate more, it feels like he doesn't have the IQ to play the model we need, right?
Yeah.
And then you go on and you look at underperforming players. Trossard fell off a cliff. Saka's had crazy injuries that just you wouldn't have expected. Now he has an Achilles issue. Earlier in the season, he was having a hip issue. He came back from a torn hamstring. You wouldn't have expected his physicality to fall off a cliff, unfortunately. Same with Havertz, right? Like this guy, he has been missing most of the season. This is our best nine in terms of all around play. Jesus, this guy's fallen off a cliff. You know what I mean? Like if you actually look at it, a lot of our depth that we were hailing now coming to, the second half of the season, we've kind of seen them exposed.
Mhm.
And it's kind of shown that, like our depth wasn't as good as what we thought. So can I say that, this squad is as elite as we thought it was? I don't know, man.
But here's my whole take on this then, right? Every single year building up to this point, we've said that the squad has holes in it. You've brought in the players to address these holes under the opinion of Arteta. You've seen there's additional holes in this team too, which, okay, sure, like there's players that are underperforming, there's players that don't believe to the task itself, but isn't part of a coach's or like a manager's role to hide these holes that a team has? Because looking in world football, all these elite teams have holes in them. Let's say, for example, let's case in point. Let's look at Barcelona, for instance. They exist in La Liga, sure, but this is a team that last year they won the domestic treble. A team this year that they're going to probably win the league like once again this year, and they're a team that yeah, they probably won the league this year, and they're a team that's consistently.
But I don't think.
But look at their roster, for
But
instance.
I don't think
They don't.
Barca. I don't think Barca is a good example of a coach negating their weaknesses. I think it's the opposite.
Yes,
That's a
yes,
coach
of course.
that's enhancing their weaknesses. Like Flick is creating weaknesses for that team because he's so stubborn.
Of course. But hey, like look at it one way, like Flick is also getting results out of a team that does have, these weaknesses in the first place. You can't say that the center back rotation that Barcelona has in place is like an elite world class center back rotation. They have a 17, 18-year-old starting in center back. It's a team with youth academy players coming in to their midfield and attack and defense like every game now and then that you've probably seen from like La Masia. You never heard of them before until they come and pop in, and it's still a team that's able to go and win. Another case in point, Manchester City. Let's look at them for example. This is a team that realistically at the beginning of the season, Manchester City fans were saying this is a year that we're looking at the team and this should be a rebuilding season. We brought in young talents. We've had multiple holes in the system. We have Rodri, who's not peak fitness until now. You had Nico Gonzalez here. Like this is a team with plenty of holes in them. But Pep Guardiola has come in. He's patched these holes.
Let me respond to the Man City one, right? With the Man City one, there's no other team that has the ability to go out and patch two of their holes with two of the best players in the Prem at that time. No other team can do that in January. No other team can go in January and say, you know what, we have an ability to win this league. Let's buy probably one of the best center backs that outside the big six and put him on 300K a week in January, and then also go and buy one of the the probably the highest one of the highest goal scoring wingers in the Prem outside of the big six. No other team can do that. So like even with City, I don't like. Yeah, I get it, right? What you're trying to say is the manager isn't enhancing the player's strengths and covering the player's weaknesses.
And like
yes,
dude,
but like, are you like? I don't. Let's not have recency bias, right? Because no one would have said this in January. No one would have said this in February. No one would have even said this in March, right?
Of course, because guys were doing well. We were in April.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is you had 3 bad weeks, and so now we're going to look at the manager who's. Now we're going to look at the manager and say that he doesn't bring out the strengths of the team when the team was performing very, very well for 7 months out of the 8. And when you look at the dip of form throughout the season, the dip of form has been coincident with losing major players through injury. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's... Look, I understand the point of Arteta having flaws, right? Like I said in this very seat, right? That Arteta's flaw earlier this season, and what I said against Wolves was we need to see him rotate more. We need to see him rotate more. I don't care if Norgard doesn't have the IQ. He can play 30. He can play 20. He can play 15. Right? You don't need to play Zubamendi Rice for 96, 97 minutes game in, game out. Saturday, Wednesday. But I don't agree with the idea that he's not maximizing his player strengths, because if he wasn't, then I don't see how he would be able to, be at the peak of his power, or peak of world football for 8 months, get to a UCL semifinal back-to-back, get to a Carabao Cup final, challenge 3 years, 3 out of 4 years.
Of course, yeah.
And then on top of that, have to deal with the injuries he's had to deal with, right? Like, look, we have Timber and Calafury out, but we can't just go and buy another player realizing that, oh, White's cooked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Where City
yeah,
can.
I get what you mean. But here's
So
my take on that too. So let's hear from you yourself as an Arsenal fan. With you yourself as an Arsenal fan, knowing the history of your club, the success of your club, right? Where you've been in the past, the incredible seasons that you've had, the trophies that you've won. Do you think that this club is a team that will define success by making the UCL semifinals each year and finishing in second or third place each year, but not coming away with a material trophy or an incredible season?
okay,
You know, that
I
type of
mean,
thing.
yeah, okay. Let me answer that, but that's not a yes or no answer, right? The reason why it's not a yes or no answer, and I'll explain, but I'll try to be brief. Is because you yes, you're right. We need to be winning league titles. We need to be winning domestic trophies, but you also have to remember that he. You also have to remember that in terms of Europe, we were in the pits and hell even during our peak,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
And
Yeah,
so and so yes, reaching a back-to-back semifinal for the first time in our history is something you applaud, right?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So
right.
like the UCL part, I have to applaud because, if we make the final, this is our second final in our history. We're not, we're a massive club because of one, our brand, and two, because of our domestic, I guess our domestic trophies. We haven't won enough European trophies to say that a back-to-back UCL semifinal is not something to applaud. But you are right. Like, yes, we should have picked up more domestic trophies in that time.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
And I guess my other thing why I say like Arteta should be sacked is I feel like at this point in Arsenal's time with the roster that they built, the history of the club, that type of thing, I feel like the pull that you guys have for a top let's say a really elite manager comes up
Would be
and is
high.
looking for a job. Yeah,
Would be really high.
you'd be like a top destination, right?
Yeah,
Which is
for
why
sure.
I say which is why
But
I say
can I ask you something?
yeah.
Okay, who on the market right now, or who can you name? What managers are you saying is better than Arteta? Like, what manager can you actually look at and say you can go get this guy and he is better than Arteta?
Xabi Alonso, I would
Xabi
say.
Alonso is not better than Arteta. No, no way.
I would say he coached the Bayer Leverkusen team in the Bundesliga to an undefeated
Yes,
season. It
I understand. I
you
understand that,
know
but this is yes. But first of all, let's put in context that that was the worst Bayern Munich side in Bayern's 20-year history. In terms of, that Bayern team was a mismanaged Bayern team. That
of
Bayern
course, yeah.
team was an expiring Bayern team with a old with an old core that was kind of beefing with the new core and all this stuff. There were so many problems with that Bayern team. So this is not a peak Bundesliga that they won. They won a Bundesliga. Going undefeated is fucking crazy. Amazing
Yeah.
accomplishment. I'm not undermining that, but I don't think you can say that he's better when under like after the consistency that Arteta's shown. And then when Xabi Alonso has gone to that big club, Real Madrid, it's not like I wouldn't say he failed. I think it was unfair that he got sacked, but
No, listen,
Yeah.
I don't think you can bring Madrid into this because I
I
think
don't
like
think
that's just
Madrid I don't think
that's just
Madrid
like I don't
counts
think
in this
that's even
Xabi
on
talk.
him, bro. I don't think that's even on Alonso, to be
It's a
yeah,
honest.
club that
but
doesn't back it's a club that doesn't back their manager. You get
yes,
what I
but at
mean?
the same time,
It's
he
a club that
did.
also supports their players more than the manager, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
Exactly.
know, I know,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like that, it's not like he showed why he was elite there. Like, even tactically and stuff like that. Obviously, he had handicaps because he had Mbappe and Vinny. But my point being that, like, I don't think you can say off of him having like a one crazy season that this guy is a better manager. Because then you would say that about Arne Slot too. But Arne Slot is not a better manager than
No,
Arteta.
of course, yeah.
And I don't.
But
So same under the same
I
scheme. Like,
I
wouldn't say Xabi
understand,
Alonso
yeah,
is.
like yeah, like there's no better managers right now, or like someone that's up for grabs, you could say. Like maybe Lewis. I'm pretty sure Luis
Klopp.
Enrique is leaving PSG.
I think that
Maybe
no. I think
Klopp.
that's false
Sure.
rumors. It's
I think
literally
it's
I
Klopp.
Klopp, you
don't
would
I
say.
don't know. I
Yeah.
still don't know how true that is, but whatever it is. But what I think what the question is like, how long are you gonna keep trusting this process until like you guys see some kind of results? Like for example, that Carabao Cup. was probably like the last nail in the coffin that you guys needed to shut all of us up. All the doubters, all the haters. You know
That's
what I
not
mean? Like
true.
you
That's
guys,
not true.
no,
It would have went
because
from
I
no
yeah,
no, no,
trophies
no,
to no
I
major
no, that's not
trophies.
true. That's
no,
not
no, no.
true.
Listen, no, no. It's not
People
even.
will
No, it's
change
not even
if they
that.
won the Carabao, people will change the argument and say, oh, they haven't won the Prem. If they won the Prem, people will change the argument and say, oh, they haven't won the UCL.
No, no,
The
no, no. I
Yeah.
argument
get
will
it. I
keep
get it. I
changing
get it.
when it
But no,
comes
no.
to
You
these
know, I
guys. You
get
get
it.
what I
But
mean?
that's how. No, no. I get it. But that's how it goes for like most things, right? But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that like you guys made it to a final. Look at the road you guys did to make it to that final. You guys went there pretty comfortably, I'd say. Even like the Chelsea tie, like I didn't think that you guys like struggled at all, to be honest.
No, that tie should
I
have
We
been
never struggled
over.
this season.
That tie should have been over at
no,
Stamford Bridge, man.
no, no, no. I
Yeah.
know that's what I'm saying. That tie should have been over, right? No, and like yeah, you guys, Garancho pulled off a brace. I don't know how he did that, but he pulled off a brace.
Mm,
But you know, like either way, I don't think there was any doubts that you guys weren't going to the final. I think
yeah.
everyone still thought that you guys were going to the final, even heading into the second game. But you know, like I think looking at that final, I think people were saying that you guys still might win this. But then that second half proved otherwise. It's like you guys had this good road to make it to the final, and then you guys once again just combusted in the final.
Okay,
Yeah.
but can we talk about the context of that final? Like I said, if we go through that lineup, who hasn't played since? They said, first of all, look at the amount of players that withdrew from international break or got injured over it. And you know what the worst part is that like we all thought, on God, I thought the whole time I was like gassed because I was thinking in my head until like the later stages. Oh, like Arteta's actually locked in because we lost the Carabao Cup final. He's locked. He's pulling all these guys back. Then you hear that every single one of these guys got pulled back because they were all in the red zone. Rice in the red zone. They're talking about him being barely 70%. Saka in the red zone. He hasn't played since that Carabao Cup final. And you could see it on the pitch. This guy was not fully fit, right? So many of these guys were. Did Timber play that final? No, he missed it. I think Eze didn't play that
No,
final.
Timber and Eze both missed it. I remember
Timber
that.
Eze
He got
missed
pulled out
it.
last
Calafiori
minute.
played it, but I don't know how fit Calafiori was. He might have like
Hank Cappy played for thing.
what?
Yeah.
And then
Hank
Hincapié got
Cappy was-
injured over the
yeah, Hank
international break. Like
Yeah.
this, I mean, I like there was,
You know,
and then Kepa was starting. So like, I don't want
you
to
know,
put the weight on that Carabao Cup final.
I get the talk, I get the injuries, I get like your point here, but I'm just saying from a fan of a big club to another fan of a big club, your fans deserve more than to be finishing second, no trophies, nothing every year.
You
And
yes,
I think if it's
I agree.
repeating, right? We can always say injuries, whatever, but if it's a repeating 2-3 season thing,
Yeah, I agree.
it's
I
not
agree.
just injuries.
No, and hold on,
No,
hold
no,
on,
I
hold on,
agree.
hold
No,
on.
no, I never said it was just injuries, right? I said like
Yeah.
Arteta had a. I could break down every season that Arteta had, and I could tell you a big flaw that he's made tactically, right? Like not just injuries, or not even just tactically. Like this season, first half of the season, I could say he should have rotated more, right? But tactically, I think he got it spot on damn near every game, right? Maybe some games he made some wrong subs, whatever, and yeah, the front three sometimes he didn't play, or sometimes he played that wasn't the most balanced. Martinelli, Gyökeres, Madueke, but generally he's got it pretty spot on most of the season tactically, right? But yeah, I could go across 23-24 and 22-23 and say, yeah, this guy made some tactical
Yo,
errors
but like okay,
here and
but
there.
even
But my
I
point
think
is, my point
22-23
is,
was a good season. Like,
no, 22
yeah,
23
that was
no,
probably your
no,
most dominant season out of it.
that's not true. 23
no,
24 was
it
our best
wasn't a
season.
dominant season, but
23-24 was our best
like,
season.
Scary.
No, I
I'm saying
could
with what
break it
Arteta
down for
did
you.
with that squad.
No, I could break it down
Like-
for you right now. 22-23, what happened was after Saliba went down and Tomiyasu went down, we had Kivior on the bench, we had Gabriel. Instead of playing two left-footed center backs, he chose to stick with Holding. He stuck with Holding and Holding sunk us down. We had Kivior on the bench. You play Kivior, we probably win that league. Probably. Not saying we would, but we probably win that league.
Yeah,
Because
okay,
Holding
fair,
sold us in every game he played. Right? Every game he played, even if you put Kivior on the right, we would drop points, but would we have sold that badly? No. We might have not won the league, actually, because that was a historic City team. But it would have been much closer, and we wouldn't have bottled it the way we did. 23-24. against Aston Villa, there was no need to play Jesus and Havertz, right? No need. And then that's what probably cost us that game. Before that, first half of the season, he stuck with Havertz as an 8. There was no need to do that. We knew Havertz's best position was as a 9, and he stuck with the 8 for way too long until he put him into a 9. We put him into a 9. This guy went 14 goals for 16 games, just some crazy shit. Snapped second half of the season, and that showed in our results. We went 16-1-1 last 18 games. 24-25, I'm not gonna put it on him. That was actually a disaster of it. Like
Yeah,
that was
you guys actually had an
we
injury.
literally had
that's horrible.
everyone injured at some point.
That was a real
that's
definition.
20
of
when
injury
people
crisis,
talk about
but
24-25 in terms of 3 years in a row you bottled, I'm like, okay, this is just nonsense. 23-24
Yeah,
we
24,
didn't.
25 is just cooked.
24-25
That was
injuries. What are you even supposed to do in 23-24? We
Yeah.
didn't bottle it. It was we literally went band for band into the final day. What more do you want us to do, right? And it's not like we had a crazy points lead or anything like that. Liverpool was first most of the season or that season. But anyway,
yeah, 23-24 they bottled it. But okay,
yeah. Wait.
what
Hold
else?
on. Let me. My point is,
Yeah.
and this season he's had issues. My point is though is that you have when you're thinking about signing and stopping a process and starting it again. I cannot say, oh, I want this guy out if there's no better managers on the market, and there is legitimately no better unless I see Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique, our Klopp, but Klopp would never come to us. So really, it's Luis Enrique. After that, who is out there that's going to elevate us to be consistently where we are? I said it to Ashwin.
Wait, I heard Ruben Amorim's out there.
We're not that club, bro. You can say,
Okay,
you can tell Chelsea that, but we're
here-
not that club.
Okay.
Don't even try it.
Here's my point. Right? In my eyes, like I know you don't agree with it, but in my eyes here, right, the club deserves some sort of change. And I'm not saying that as like a rival fan saying you guys should sack Arteta and then like go to the fucking grave. Like that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is for a big club, you deserve win. You deserve trophies. And to see a manager consistently make mistakes that leads you to not winning these big games, I think is a reason why you should change things up. And
wait,
the other thing I'm going to add here,
Wait,
the other thing I'm going to add here,
could you repeat that though?
like what I'm trying to say is, what's it called? A club that's this big deserves to win trophies. And when you have a manager that in these big games makes these types of changes, fumbles the bag, that type of thing.
I'll say that's more of a
No.
this season problem.
No. See, this is not. We're not being. This is what I mean. We have to. This is why I was trying to contextualize his whole campaign. We went until this season. We went 22 games against the Big Six unbeaten. Last season, the season. Yeah. So our whole issue before Arteta was
in the Prem.
in the Prem. Our whole issue against before this season was that we wouldn't be able to consistently compete in the Prem and other trophies, right? And also before Arteta came in was the whole Big Six issue. Arteta solved the Big Six issue, and this isn't. He solved the idea of us not being able to compete on major trophies across different trophies. Like we weren't able to compete earlier, whereas now we are able to compete. I just think like he's made issues that have unfortunately sold him, but also he is facing a fucking generational best manager of all time, and maybe he's just not that level, right?
But like, are you gonna be satisfied with that?
Yes, because the second Pep leaves, he's gonna win the league. It's just sad that he isn't gonna win the league when Pep is here. I don't think, like, Pep leaves. Let's say Pep leaves at the end of the season. So I was saying to Ashwin, let's say Pep leaves at the end of the season, unless it's not gonna happen because City will not win the league this season after that, just because of the impact that Pep will have on that club. Just like Ferguson, just like Wenger, just like Klopp, right? Well, Klopp was a little different because like they ended up winning after anyway. Bro, most likely they will not go and win again because it's too hard to replace Pep. It will be this guy is the brains of that club. He's the genius behind that club, right? So you're really only gonna look at what Liverpool, maybe United, maybe like if we're being okay, like let's just say it, right? You're really only looking at Liverpool, maybe United to compete with us. Is no point in sacking this guy because he will win the league the next season. It's just the thing is
But
that I don't know
It's
if
the fan
he's.
pressure. I think it's more so the fan pressure that
yeah,
will,
fair.
But the thing
if
is
let's
like
say
if
he does get
we,
sacked, it'll be big influence would be because of the fan pressure. I would say.
of course. But the thing is
Yeah.
like, I just think like, I just think there's my expectation for this guy considering what he did with that 22-23 team and then what he did with that 23-24 team, which let's not forget, this was not a peak Liverpool, but a very, very good Liverpool. This was the
Under
year
Klopp as
after,
well. Under
under
Klopp.
Klopp, a
Yeah.
year after treble winning Pep side. And
Mm.
he went band for band with them, beat Klopp, but lost to Pep. To me, his potential was sky high. Now, maybe it's just that he isn't that level. Maybe he isn't that, top three manager in the world right when Pep leaves, top best manager in the world. Maybe he's not that profile, but I think he's good enough that when Pep leaves, unless they go and get a Luis Enrique, he's the next best thing. He's the like you know what I mean? Like I don't think there's another team or another manager that would be able to come in and elevate us.
Mm. You know, the thing that I will say, just to close the conversation, unless you have anything else to say, from here is let's just out of curiosity question. Let's say you keep him for that extra year. I don't know, Man City hire like Enzo Maresca or something like that. They hire like not like a super like top tier elite manager like on a Pep level or Enrique level or like that type of thing, right?
And they win the
You
league.
see next, yeah, you see next year if Arteta fails to win the league, what would your opinion be?
Then he has to go. Yeah, I think like it's unfortunate because I genuinely think that this guy, even now, like I don't think that this guy isn't a special manager. I think he's special. I just think
No, yeah,
like I think this guy is a top tier coach. I think like the way he's innovated and adapted, he's shown different cycles to this team. It's just we haven't won, so he hasn't got the
mhm,
credit that I think he deserves. But yeah, I mean like right now, like even now, it's kind of hard for me to say he shouldn't go if he doesn't win the UCL or Prem this season. But if he didn't do it next season either, after Pep
yeah,
left, Klopp's not here. I would, and yeah, Klopp's not here. I would be, yeah. To me, that would be raps. I
yeah,
don't even like. I wouldn't even know what to say.
yeah. And I
He
guess
has to
one
go,
thing,
blood. He has to
yeah,
go.
I guess one thing I'll say is like let's keep it a bit rational here. I feel like at times too, like change of scenery is like needed as well. If it were to happen, which you never know. Firstly, there's still 5 games left in the season. You never know if Arsenal could still get in a good run of form. They could still win the league, right?
Yeah, bro.
Or
Maybe all
in
this shit
the
doesn't even matter.
yeah, maybe that just doesn't matter. You go on and win the league, or let's say you lose the league, and then you're in the UCL semifinal. You win that semifinal against Atleti, and you're in a final against PSG Bayern. You pull off a performance of your life. You win the UCL. You never know what happens in footy,
I
right?
don't.
And that's a
Yeah.
good thing about it, right? But the one thing I will say is sometimes change of scenery is good too. And even for, let's say, a manager like Arteta, maybe it could be like a similar effect that he feels to the players that, let's say, if he goes to a different team and has a clean slate, that, it changes from there and you can, you see him reap the rewards. Or if it's the same thing with the players too, where it's like a clean slate starts at Arsenal and you see them reaping the rewards. It could be that type of thing too, where it's like you've been in the same environment for a while, you see shit like shit hit the fan like sometimes, and a change of scenery happens, and you see a good thing happen, but you never know. I don't know.
Is this you trying to cope as a Chelsea fan?
Yes, it's me trying to cope as a Chelsea
I
fan.
think. I think for me, like to round it off, like I think the biggest thing is like we'll see how the season ends firstly, but I think like I mean probably the first thing we'll do when the season ends is when we do our season review is probably talk about obviously what happened in the season, but next like what we see for the team, right? For the future of the team.
Yeah,
And I think there's a lot more work than what I thought there had to be done that needs to be done, right? Because I'm thinking I know that they probably won't do it, but that number 14 guy needs to get deported as soon as possible. Jesus will go. Jesus
Who's
will
number 14?
go. Jesus will go. Trossard
we
will
don't have to say anything.
Trossard should slash will go. White, like there's Norgard probably too. Like there's a good 5 to 6. Oh, we didn't even talk about Moreno being injured this whole time. He was a clutch player for us, but whatever.
Oh yeah, I've always been said that like as soon as I
he
saw
was
the
so
injury news, I
clutch.
I thought your season could be wrapped.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Well, Raps is crazy. It just impacted us for sure. Like I don't
Yeah.
think it
Impacted.
wouldn't have
No, but
mattered.
no,
It wouldn't
you
have.
know what it is? No,
It
not
wouldn't have
raps. I'm saying
mattered
in the
as
sense that like
much.
I just don't think that people understood the magnitude of him
Yeah,
being
for
injured.
sure.
You know,
No, for sure.
you know, I don't think. I think number 14 should garner a little more respect to say his name. We can't put him in the same category as Subject 49 here. You could say his name. Subject
Yeah,
49
because you
is
know what it is.
No,
definitely
You know
a
what it
I'll
is.
be honest.
No,
No,
I
I'll be
feel like
honest. No, no,
that
no, no,
player
no,
is
no,
very
no. I don't
spoken to the
think.
fan base.
I don't think. No, no. I don't think you also understand. Like, Gyökeres is genuinely like
There we go.
he is like the closest thing I've seen to a project killer. I have never genuinely this guy is as close to a project killer as I have seen. Genuinely, this signing is so bad that it has definitely lost us at least 5 points this season.
Hindsight is funny when you like look at it. At the
Hindsight's not
beginning
funny
of the
because I was
year,
right the whole time. I was right the whole
No, no, no.
time.
To be fair, he's
AFTV.
I was right the whole
Yeah,
time. No,
yeah,
no, no. Hindsight is not funny because I'm not right or not whatever you fuck you said because I was right the whole time. I said that I wanted Sesko. And you guys both know this. I've always said I
No, yeah,
wanted
we know
Sesko.
that. We know that.
I said
We're
that I
talking
had
from a
no.
general fan base perspective, because you know what it is, bro.
Bro, no, the fan
I
base
was
was
saying that.
50-50. Fan base was
No, that's what I'm
50-50.
saying. No. I feel like no. Right now they're 50-50. When they at the
No,
signing, they were not 50-50.
that's not true. That's not true. I remember.
Brother,
So this
I
is.
saw people
Let me
celebrating.
let me
Like,
tell you.
maybe I just saw more
Let
celebrating.
me tell you because I'm a part of the fan base, so I'll see more of it, right? It was heavy 50-50, but when it started to go towards Gyökeres, then everyone just bought into it, like an 85 to 90%, including me, right? We bought into it, but there was the 50% that wanted him, and there was the 30 or 40% that didn't want him but trusted the club and then bought into him. Do you know what I mean? So like,
Okay, yeah.
that's
fair.
what it was. Trust
No,
me.
that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Like once he got, like, I'm not talking about the news of the deal going on. I'm saying once he got signed, they're like, you know what, yo, like
No, they
maybe
were.
this can turn out good.
Yes, of course, but you're gonna say that when
Yeah.
like you could sign. I could sign fucking. I don't know. I could sign. Fucking. Loftus Cheek tomorrow, and I'd be like, you know what, this might turn out good. That's just
Loftus Cheek. What a
that, that's just like
What a pull! What a pull!
that's just fucking that's how a fan base is, right? Like you're not gonna you're gonna if you're while you're
Honestly,
being
no, that's fair because this guy said he was okay about the Garnacho signing. You know what?
This-
No, I take
bro,
that back.
Hey, you mentioned his name. We can't mention his name. Subject
yeah,
49,
yeah.
man. He doesn't deserve that respect.
when you
Yup,
when a
yup,
team when bro, everyone knows this, right? Even when you guys signed Amrabat, Hoyland, all these bums, right? When a team
Oh, I was never a fan of the Hoyland signing. But yeah, go on.
when a team signs a player, you're gonna back him, but everyone's real opinion came before that when they were linked to the player, right?
Yeah.
So when I was, you guys know when it was Gyökeres or Sesko, I was always Sesko. Then when Gyökeres came, I said, yo, you know what? First of all, this guy's Sully is tough, so I'm gonna hope that this guy's aura just is like through the charts, and that just carries us or carries him somehow to be way better than what I thought he would be. He is not. He's been actually been worse than what I thought he would be by quite a distance. I thought he would be mid. This guy's been booty cheek, right? So
Couldn't be more.
he's one of those guys. That is a real project killer right there. We need to get rid of that guy and sign anyone, please. Just sign me anyone. But apparently Barcola is but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But shall we move into
Yeah, one of the more boring
Yeah.
games this game week. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, that was.
You know, the
you know
funniest
what?
thing about this game is like both of us are happy. That's the funniest thing about the game. Like-
No, you know what? No. You always have like some kind of phrase to be like, "Yo, I'll put this game in one way." Let me hear it for this one.
Yeah. Oh, me?
Yes,
Yeah, you.
bro.
What the-
You're the only one
I
that
literally
does
just said
that
you're
shit.
the one who always summarizes your game in one phrase, bro.
Oh.
You'd be like, "I'll put
Subject
the game
49.
in one way."
Subject 49. Subject 49. That's
How
two-
is that
two
your
words.
phrase?
I was like, your phrase. You have to summarize how the game went. Like that's what you normally do.
You know, like, I'll be honest with this game. I was at a restaurant in downtown Toronto. I turned on the game for a little bit, and I turned it off. The reason why I turned it off was for two reasons. Okay,
No, that's
the
not
first reason why
possible.
I
I
turned
already
it
talked to
off,
you about this. That doesn't make sense. You
yeah.
can't turn off a game
The
twice.
first reason, the first reason why, no, okay, but like I turned it off for two
No, no, you said he has
reasons.
two reasons.
Two
You said
things
he has two
happened,
reasons.
two events happened, and I turned it off.
Okay.
First event that happened was Esteban got injured. I wanted to, that was my only hope in the game, and he got injured at the beginning of the game. The second reason why is because I saw Subject 49 get up and start waving at the crowd, running around and warming up. As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, it's reps. We are cooked. We got a attack of Liam Delap, Pedro Neto, and Subject 49.
That's just dark, bro. Would you ever believe you spent 2 billion on that attack?
$2 billion squad. And it's Liam Delap, Pedro Neto, and Subject
I don't
49.
understand your
Your
voice.
your mic is
voice
cutting out.
breaks, bro. Your voice breaks when you scream too
With
loud.
those guys crashing out.
This guy, man.
It's so funny. No, like, okay, I'll be okay. Esteban, he had that one chance where he barely missed he barely went outside the post.
I just want to say one thing. It's gone so bad that Subject 49 has tried to post Liam Rossinier on his Instagram to try to get minutes. That's how bad it's gotten.
Yeah, but I heard he like removed a lot of like he removed his Chelsea DP like profile pic and like
Yeah.
so
He tried removing that, but then he realized like he can't really get minutes elsewhere. So he posted Liam Rossinier to try to get minutes. And apparently it worked, but you know, it's Subject
I mean,
49 we're talking
who
about
else was
here.
going outside, right? You guys want to have what's his name? Gittins, so of course.
At this point, I would just start an academy graduate over Subject 49 here.
Tough luck, man. But honestly, like up until that point, like I think you guys had two good chances. I can't remember one of the chances if it was after Garnacho or before, but Esteban had a really good one. Cole Palmer, like I know he's on bad form, but he always has something against us. I'm not gonna lie, this guy still has me terrorized from the 4-3 win that you guys got.
Mm.
But yeah, like I knew he was on bad form, but I just thought he would do, he'd make a big impact on this game. Maybe it might
The
be
guy
like
has to get the surgery, man.
yeah, he has to get that surgery, but
He has to get the surgery, bro.
yeah, and then Enzo had like one really good chance in the middle, like he got around a center backs, and I thought probably that was the worst miss of the game. Like I think more than like you guys hitting the woodwork twice, I think that was probably the best chance you guys got.
Yeah.
And leading up to this game, I was like, we probably will beat you guys. And then when I saw like it's just a series of events, I just kept declining and declining my confidence. Like first when Martinez got that stupid red card, stupid meaning like it wasn't his fault, it was just stupid what happened.
Yeah.
And by the way, I can go on about that for an hour, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, he got red carded, so I'm like, God damn it, like he's gonna miss Chelsea. And I've been saying that like, yo, his comfortability on the ball, his composure on the ball is so critical. It's so critical, and like that's what made us, really had that. It was a big influence for that manager bounce we had too, right? During that period that we were going, like I think we went four game win streak. He was a big part of it. And then out of nowhere, Maguire, another game ban out of nowhere. We're like, what the hell is going on? Like he was only meant to be out for our game against Leeds, but not for Chelsea, right? And then after that, we're like, okay, but what the heck? Like we have three of our center backs missing. No Delict, he's been gone for like literally years, not years obviously. No Maguire, no Martinez. We're like, bro, are you like it's gonna be Aiden Heaven and Dylan Euro, right? And honestly, I don't mind Aiden Heaven. Like for me, I'd rather like have Aiden Heaven and Maguire than Yoram Maguire because I think Aiden Heaven is more his profile of a defender is more comparable to Martinez. Lenny Rowe's profile is more comparable to Maguire. So I'm like, you know what, like having Aiden Heaven beside Maguire wouldn't have been bad. And then I don't know, and then the day before Euro gets injured, so I'm like, you guys
That's
have
gonna
to
have to
win.
be a choice, yeah.
Yeah, at that point I'm like, you know what, like we're done. We're done. We're done. We're
Well,
cooked. We're cooked, and
then
then yeah, the João Pedro news is what got me being like, yo, we can probably win this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once
So
once he had Delap in the nine and João Pedro on the bench, I'm not gonna excuse it to say that, hey, like that was the reason we lost, because to be fair, I think we were going to lose that game. And the fact we lost that game kind of makes sense with like the state of the team and
Brother,
where
are
we're
you
at right
good?
now.
What are you doing over there?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, your screen's going off.
What's
Oh,
You're kind of
tweaking?
exposing you're kind of exposing yourself if you're not paying attention.
no, I was not paying attention. I was making a thumbnail.
Yeah. Okay, fair,
This
fair.
guy.
But like I
Maximum
feel
efficiency, man. It's final season. What can I
yeah.
do, bro?
But hey,
Alright, you wanna
I
at
was
least
gonna
tune in for a
say
little bit?
No, no, no.
no,
I was listening to you guys talk about
not
nonsense,
twice. I'm
man.
not
Talk about
twice.
no, no. I heard what you guys talk about, man. What do you want me to talk about exactly? Just say what you guys were just saying. Repeat a sentence or some
Hey,
shit.
so here's my takeaway on this thing. 2 points. Okay. First point is the reason why I'm happy for this loss is because anything that is negative at this stage puts pressure on the ownership. They tried releasing a PR stunt here, signing Caicedo to a new contract, releasing that news, then saying next after we're going to sign Levi Colwell. He's going to get an extension soon and hopefully new players after. Then you see Cole Palmer talking in the media saying, hey, I don't want to switch club, that type of thing. It's a whole PR stunt, and we all know it to try to get Chelsea fans to calm down and not protest against the ownership. And I'm glad that number one, the protest did happen, and it did happen to the magnitude that it did. And number two, we're also seeing bad results for it to continue, right? It's gotten to the point where we are seeing PR stunts that Diego Simeone is in the running to be the next Chelsea manager. Like this is how bad the PR stunt at Chelsea is now. So I'm happy that we're getting poor results and the pressure's still on the ownership and the fans are understanding that look, whatever news comes out, it's a lot of fake bullshit. We know the truth and we know what's happening here, and you should be protesting against the ownership. And the second thing I want to comment about is what happened post game. Um, uh, from what I've heard, I don't know if you've seen this, Ashwin, as well. Mark Cucurella stormed back to the locker room instead of clapping out his fans at the end of the game, which I feel like is completely valid because look at the state of this team right now, right? You gave it all on the pitch. You're playing well, but you have duds like Liam Delap and Subject 49 on your team that can't really carry the freaking load.
He actually
Um,
he gave it his all as well that
he
game.
gave it his all. He's obviously
Yeah.
pissed off.
Yeah.
Walk over to the bench, go to the locker room, be pissed off. Honestly, if you want, like, leave the club too, like that type of thing. Like these types of frustrated players, frustrated things happening to the club, it puts even more pressure on ownership to be like, yo, like what we're doing is not correct, right?
I don't. Yeah.
And the one thing I will say is this is not like a typical owner. Like, let's say, your typical billionaire that like wants to own a club for some reason. This is a private equity firm. And their whole point of owning a club is to be like, yo, we need to sell it for a profit. So if they're seeing this club right now as doing bad, their fans are pressuring against them, their players want to leave, all this pressure on them right now is going to bring down the valuation of the club. You see, like, the recording record losses, all these things. This pressure on a firm that bought this club as an investment to flip is valid pressure that they will have to adhere to either by selling the club or by changing the way that they run the club itself. Because we have to remember, as I say, the whole point of Clearlake buying the club is not to own it for the sake of owning it. The whole point of buying it is because it's a private equity firm. They want to flip it for a profit later down the line. That's why they buy all these young players to flip them for high value. That's why they, put this low wage structure in to make the club more optimal from a valuation standard, right? That's why they try, selling these players, flipping these players for a profit to make them seem like they're more, they're a very profitable club. Like that's the whole structure in the first place. And if you see bad things happen to them, it's where it's going to hit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, as a fan, I'm not the type of fan that likes to ever want my team to lose. So with that, I have to disagree with you. But that's just different types of fans. I know some fans, I get it. Like even when we were protesting for Kroenke out, I never wanted us to lose. It's just the type of fan I am. But fair enough, I guess. I think with the ownership thing, though, I think Chelsea fans have complained about it for a while. But I'm not sure if their model is to buy young players to either turn them into elite talents that can start or flip on for a profit, right?
They're buying on the dip and selling on the peak. That's what you're trying to do.
essentially with some players, and with other players you're
Yeah.
just buying when they're unknown and then keeping them if the talent is so big that they think it will, you know, for example, Cole Palmer, right? You bought him for 35 million, but there's no point in selling him for 100 because you think that keeping him would just generate more revenue long term, right? That's what I
Mm,
assume. That's how I assume they look at it, right?
yeah.
I'm not sure if their model is. I'm not sure if their model long term, or I'm not sure if they will change their model long term because of these protests. I think if anything, it might it might force them to be more serious in terms of, like, if I was the most upset about anything, uh I would be, I guess my upsetness or my frustration with the Chelsea board would be like the manager situation more than anything,
Yeah.
because you look at Maresca and Maresca is definitely getting you way closer to United at least, right?
Mm,
Which
Yeah,
shows
but
that.
you see, once again though, like that whole like feud stemmed from the fact that the board are being so stingy on trying to buy the players that he wanted to improve the team, right?
That's
Like I
true,
think
but I don't
like
think.
you
I
if you
think
look at the managers, like I think at end of the day, if you look at the root cause, you're gonna have to look at the board.
But that's not. But that's not my point. My
Yeah.
point is like my point more so is that I don't think, because all they'll want is Champions League footy. That's all they need, right? That's all they need
yeah.
is Champions League
For their
footy.
model. Yeah.
Yeah, for their model,
For
all
their
they need
model
is
to
Champions
succeed,
League
yeah.
footy.
Mhm.
I think that with a better manager, they would have got Champions League footy this season. They just had a random managerial change that kind of put them off, and Liam is, an unexperienced manager at a big club trying to figure things out. Big
Mm,
expectations. This team is also, you can tell they're kind of burning out, like the better players at least,
No,
because
it's
of.
just like there's devastated.
Yeah,
Like
well, they're also burning out a
yeah,
little bit because of the
there's
Club
big
World
connection with
Cup.
that. Yeah.
There's a bunch of issues going on with that team. So, like, if I was Clear Lake, I wouldn't. I'm not sure if I would change the model in terms of signing the players. I think if I was them, I would just change the managers they hire, because you get a better manager, and even if you keep them for 2 seasons, right? As long as your manager ID is correct, you will stay in UCL because
Mhm.
your model is good enough, whereas because you were keeping, the few talents that you do succeed on for so long, they're kind of forced to stay at the club, right? Like you're not selling Caicedo for less than 100 mil plus. You're like, it's gonna be very hard for Caicedo to leave, for Enzo to leave, for Palmer to leave, for example. These guys are all on like 8-year contracts. So if I was them, I'm not sure how much their model is going to change in terms of player recruitment. It might just be managerial recruitment that changes.
See, but then that kind of raises the question, right? It's like, yo, what manager really wants to get sucked into that
Yeah,
this kind of
exactly.
thing, right?
What
Because
A
yo,
manager
if
wants
bunch,
on?
a bunch. Enzo
no,
Maresca
no, no,
level will,
like, see,
all
like
of them
that's the
will
thing,
do
like,
that.
no, like, but the thing is, yo, managers obviously want to take their team to the top. They want to make sure that their team wins stuff like the Premier League.
Yeah,
They win the
exactly.
UCL. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but
if
you're
you look at
looking at it
Maresca, I don't
wrong.
think like
You're not understanding
no,
what I'm
but
saying.
if you
What I'm trying to say is like there's enough managers out there that will take the it's like United for the past who knows how many years. Everyone knew that going to United for the past 10 years is a grave is a job for players and for managers that is, you're sacrificing it all. Look at Ten Hag, for example. Went to United, and yes, he didn't perform at United. It basically killed his trajectory. But he would still go to United, and he'd probably do it again because it's a big club, right? It's a big club that he thinks, oh, I can fix this. I can do it, right? And United had,
that's what I'm
recruitment
saying. No,
issues
no, no.
in
That's
a
what I'm saying.
different
Like they
way.
want to say I can be the man. Yeah.
In a different way, they would go to Chelsea and think the same thing. But on top of that, with Chelsea, it's also an opportunity, right? Like, it's an opportunity to prove yourself at a higher level, so that if it doesn't work out at Chelsea, you can go somewhere else, right? Like Maresca, for
Well,
example, is kind of the role
yeah.
model, right? Like he was at, what was he? He was at Leicester, took the step up to Chelsea, and now that he's proven himself at Chelsea, teams like City will be looking at him, right? I'm sure managers will take that every day of the week. That progression, that
I
ladder,
guess you know what, you know what,
You,
you know what. Okay,
I'm
if you're saying
gonna
in the sense that like yo, they're using it as a stepping stone for their club and not
which is
they don't
possible.
let this is not the end destination.
yeah.
Sure, but then like once again, what kind of fans? Like now you gotta look at the fan. Like if you're looking about like
Hold
in
on.
terms of yeah, go on.
I
You really
think
want to
I
say something?
think we're misunderstanding why the ownership change. If the ownership was to change their model, why it would change. And the reason it would change here is not because of a root reason of like let's say fan protesting and fans are dissatisfied by this model or that type of thing or not qualified. Like
It's
it won't
revenue
change for that. The whole
generation,
reason is revenue generation. It's the value of the club. If
but they'll
that value
be.
of the club goes down from where they are right now, that's going to change.
Well,
And
yeah,
how?
but my whole point is that if they make UCL footy year over year, it will not their revenues will not go down.
But realistically speaking, will they even do that?
But that's my whole point is that was my whole point was is that it's kind of
Mm.
been shown that yeah, if they stick with the same managerial merry-go-round that they're having where they're developing one at Strasbourg and then bringing them on, then yeah, they might not. But if
Yeah.
they with their player model recruitment or their model in terms of player recruitment, they'll be fine. It's more so because you guys get enough, so many talents that you guys get enough to be able to qualify for a UCL footy. There's 5 spots, or probably 5 spots for who knows how long in the future. It's not that
Oh,
hard
the
to
next
get five
couple,
spots.
yeah.
Not even next couple years. I would say like, bro, with the money difference, like the income difference that we have in terms of Prem teams versus everyone else, we're almost always gonna have 5 spots go to the UCL minimum. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard given their model to stay in the top five. Thus their revenue I don't think their revenues will be hit consistently as much as it has been. And on top of that, that 2 billion that they had to spend, they were forced to spend, right? It was a part of the mandate of buying the club.
Mm.
So like I'm not sure how that's impacted their revenues. Probably it's impacted a lot still to this day because it's amortized, right? But that's not gonna last forever.
But then here's like the other like viewpoint for that. Sure, like let's say you qualify for UCL each year, right? Sure that side of the point is going to be covered, but the other side of the thing too is like there's other problems in terms of the way this club operates that have to be uncovered as well. For instance, this club didn't find a shirt sponsor until like right now, end of the season,
Yeah.
for like this type of thing. It's not even a lucrative shirt sponsor, right?
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is,
Um,
that's something I'm sure they'll fix.
but like will it? Because like look at it one way for a company. Let's say a large company wants to come and sponsor Chelsea. Will they want to sponsor a club that
Puma sponsored
has a
us through the
reputation of
trenches.
hmm?
Puma sponsored us through the trenches. Puma would sponsor you guys for sure.
But like
Puma.
Puma sponsored a club with fans that would like care about their club, with fans that knew that it's going someplace.
Chelsea
They
fans
wouldn't
always care.
sponsor. Yeah, but would they sponsor a club like, for instance, that has bad good like for lack of a better term, bad goodwill with their fans and bad goodwill in the media, bad goodwill on the market. If you were to try to sell this to another club or another owner, they would say, hey, like the value of this club is kind of crappy because look, we don't have any positive goodwill with the fans. We don't know if these fans are going to come and stay on like after the point. We don't know if the media is going to come and talk about us positively. We don't know if shirt sponsors are going to come and just say just because we signed with a new owner, like all this goodwill and value of the club and whatnot is going to be
Mm,
driven up because of
I
the
don't
sale. You get what
agree.
I mean?
I don't agree because you're forgetting like the whole point of well, okay, first of all, I think we're going on a crazy tangent,
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are going on a crazy
right?
tangent. I was
But
gonna
like
say.
I think my final point is like the reason why all these businessmen went into footy in the first place is because of the brand loyalty with damn near no um repercussion. What I mean by that is that these fans believe that they bleed the clubs like they bleed the club is in their DNA, and it doesn't matter what happens to the club, what trenches they go through. A lot of those fans, the match going fans, will continue to go, right? It doesn't matter. You could sink to the pits of hell and they would still go because that's just that's just the culture that's around footy, and you guys have been a big club for long enough to develop those fans. Would it like we've seen it with Arsenal, right? We went through the trenches for like 20 years, right? In terms of not 20 years, let's say a decade of genuine trenches, right? But even then, you will still see so many new Arsenal fans come through because of just how big the brand is. And you'll see so many loyal Arsenal fans stick around through those trenches because that's just the culture. So what I'm saying is like, I understand the fan protests and that type of stuff, but it's going to take a lot longer
Of course, yeah.
It's not
than
something that's gonna change within
it's
like
bro,
the
it's
end of
gonna
the
take
season
Yeah,
type thing.
it's gonna
yeah, of
take
course.
very
No way.
long. It's gonna take very long, and on top of that, like I said, it only takes one good managerial recruitment for the fans to get swayed again. The reason why you guys are
Yeah.
so mad is because you guys are bad off the pitch and on it, right? But the second you guys are better on the pitch, meaning you guys are in UCL spots and you think you're competing for third, and you know you're having some good results. With just all you need is a good manager, because this squad of players could do it. With a better manager under Maresca, you could have done it.
100%.
There would be no
100%.
protests. So in other words, what I'm saying is like all it takes is one good managerial recruitment, like a Maresca, and boom, those protests will go away, or they will get severely weakened. Do you know what I mean?
I
So
get it. Yeah, no, like I get the part where like you're saying oh weaken, but ultimately the problem is just gonna keep repeating. Like yes, if they want their
yeah, but that's not
structure to
my
succeed, yes, but as
But that's not
fans,
my
how
point. My point is like the issue that is going on here is gonna it's gonna be a lot more it's gonna be a long ass problem to resolve, and it's not gonna be that easy because just missing 1 year of UCL football, I don't know how much that will make them change their model. A few big protests, I'm not sure how much that'll change their model. It'll take a
yeah,
long
it'll
time.
definitely be
Yeah.
like a more than a
Anyways,
year long. Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyways, I feel we should switch to the greener side of the grass here. Talk about United because I don't think at the beginning of the season we'd be sitting here at this stage and we'd be saying the happiest fan on this podcast is going to be a United fan
This
at this
can
point
we
in time.
like we're really forcing this agenda that I'm depressed. Like I'm fine,
no,
bro.
no. It's not the fact that you're not depressed. That I just think still out of you guys, I'm probably the happiest right now.
I mean
Yeah, like he's the
that's
happiest guy
because
right
we
now.
lost and you won. So yeah, sure. If we're talking about this specific game week,
Um,
then okay.
I'm just
Well,
gonna
he's
say
sitting in a
since
UCL comfortably in
2026.
a UCL slot.
Maybe since the beginning of 2026. I feel like I've gone
Hell
through less chances
no.
than you.
Hell no. What the fuck? Beginning of
What? You're s-
2026? Are you crazy?
what you're saying? You guys have had better days than we have.
Of course, we were top of the league for
Yeah,
most of
yeah.
2026.
Ashford,
No, okay, no. I'm
You
Ashford
not
guys
can't
got
talking.
go
No,
for
knocked
there
out
when
of
you
the
ruined it
FA
already.
Cup in 2026. You have played, bro. You have
That was
had
2026.
periods. That was 2026. You've had periods of 20 days in 2026 where all you did was watch other teams play, and you didn't
Oh
play.
no. I'm talking no. I'm talking pure on a results basis. I'm talking
Yeah,
pure on a
Bro,
results
but that's
basis.
not how the
No,
year works.
Ashford,
no.
how do you
Listen.
fumble this bad? Like I built a narrative around you being the most
No.
happy one here.
Sure.
You
Like,
Hold on.
why
you
did you
got
do
chipped
that?
into the
Like, there
mix.
was no
Wait.
need. Like, no,
Wait,
you
no,
gotta
no, wait, wait, wait,
no.
The most happy
What?
strikers. Like what?
I'm talking recently. Like yes.
Yes.
Besides the fact
Okay.
that I don't get to.
In the
Yeah.
past 2 weeks, two
Yeah,
weeks. It's only
Yes,
been
guys.
first of all, Harshan's fucking barrier is breaking again. But it's only really been 2 weeks where the Arsenal fan base have really been, it's
You know
really
what? You know what?
been
We
consistently
can say for
negative.
the past month. I'm just saying that sure, whatever. If we can talk about past month. All I'm saying is that we've seen less issues. Your issues have been slowly building up on a ramp. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying ours is getting progressively better. Um,
Sure.
yours are slowly getting progressively exposed. I guess you know what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying overall better, but I'm just saying that it's
Anyway, just move
becoming
on. Yeah,
better and
whatever,
better.
man.
But
Don't
anyways,
compare us.
whatever it is.
Brother sold it.
Shush.
There's no need to compare. Like, why? Okay, whatever. Just continue, man. Whatever. Just continue.
Alright.
Just continue. Just talk about United, man.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
fair.
You're in third. Congrats. Come on.
Yeah, I think at this point I'd say UCL confirmed. If we lost against you guys, I would be very concerned because we
Mm.
play Brentford at home next. And we play Liverpool. Sorry, we play Brentford away, and Liverpool at home. Liverpool at home, I'm feeling confident. Brentford away, I'm very nervous. Brentford away is not easy. Not easy. at all. I could see us dropping points there, but I think at this point, as long as you end in a tie, I do not care. I do not care because if you look at it, right, yo, between sixth and even 12th, yes, between sixth and 12th, it's a this 3 point gap.
Yeah.
We are 10 points ahead of you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys are sixth. I think my only requirement is we finish either third or fourth and one above Liverpool and above Liverpool. That's all I care about. But yeah, otherwise, I think we're probably safe. We're in a position where we should be. Surprising because obviously in the beginning of the season we thought we'd still be in the. We didn't think we were going to be knocked on the Carabao in the FA Cup,
Yeah.
first round, which I genuinely forgot FA Cup was beginning of the year. That felt like so long ago, but
Yeah.
makes sense because we got knocked out. Um, but yeah, otherwise, like yo, at that point, 40 games a season, like then you gotta be talking to yourself, being like, you have to make UCL. Did I think we're gonna make UCL in the beginning of the thing? I did not. I thought maybe we might finish eighth,
Yeah.
seventh, that
This
area.
is a
We
massive,
might
massive
make
performance.
Europa again, but maybe not qualify for UCL.
Yeah.
But since Carrick's come in, I that confidence has been going up and up, and you know, if we're talking specifically about the Chelsea game, did I think that was a game we deserved to win? Hell no. I think it should
But
have been like
you scrapped it. You won it,
that's what I'm
right?
saying. That's the
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying. Like if you're gonna play shit, at least come out with a win. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's something that we've been lacking for so long. We've been lacking for so long, and my only concern is that as the days go on, our performance is getting a little bit worse and worse. The Leeds game, did we get done dirty? Yes, but at the same time, was the first half horrendous? Yes. But
Yeah.
same thing happened with Chelsea, but we managed to get away with the win. So those are things I care about. If we just scrap a point, I don't care as long as you finish in the UCL spots. That's all the goal is. And obviously, the one other talking point, the assist record, 18 assists now.
He's gonna get
So
it. I've kind of accepted that he's gonna get it, but for me, I think the two things, where and I don't really have much to say on this whole United nonsense, but the two things I wanted to say was like, the two things that I was ready to sacrifice for this title was Henri's record and the Big Six record that we've had, where we were unbeaten for 22 games. So if we don't win the league, we've already lost the 22 games. If Henri's record also gets broken, if we don't win the league or the UCL, brother, all that sacrifice would have been worth nothing. But whatever. Point is that I think he's gonna break it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like, I mean, we've seen players in much better positions not break it. I mean,
yeah, it's just a cursed
We
record,
saw
bro.
Ozil at 18 halfway through the season. I think
Yeah,
like 20 games played, or like, you know what I mean, some shit like that. He had like 10 plus games to play at 18 or like 16 assists, and Giroud scored 0 goals the whole second half of the season. First of all, to sell the league in 15-16, but also to not get Ozil another assist. Even Alexis Sanchez was selling chances, but so there's Ozil. There was, I think, De Bruyne had that one season where he should have
yep.
broke it, but the refs claimed it as not an
Yeah, we did
assist,
claim
so
it
it
as his
matched it.
assist. Yeah,
So it matches a
it
20.
just
Like we saw Pogba get 7 and 4, and we all thought this guy was gonna go crazy and break it. Last season, people were talking. I don't know if you guys remember before the injury.
Salah.
No,
Salah.
before the injury, no, before Salah it was
Saka.
Saka. Before the injury was Saka, because Saka had 10 assists early as fuck into the season, and everyone
Yeah.
was thinking, oh shit. Because I don't know if you remember, first half of the season, before we had hella injuries, Salah and Salah was better, but Saka and Salah were going band for band with GA. They were. Bro, I'd watch
Yeah.
Liverpool's game
Yep,
and
yep,
Salah would be saving
yep.
them. I'd watch our game and then Saka would be saving us. So it was like that. He was getting hella assists. And then yeah, later on in the season, obviously after the injuries and stuff, it turned to like Salam was getting 20, and then he sold it. So yeah, it's a
Wait,
curse. It's a cursed record.
wait.
It's a cursed record. People sell it all the time, but yeah, I think he's gonna break it. I mean, I think he has 5 games to get 2 assists to match it. That's that's still, like, that's not easy, but I think the way he's like, the way every goal that United scores damn near is going through him, it feels like he'll at least get 1 or 2 more assists. I expect him
Yeah.
to match it at the very minimum, if I'm being real.
Yep, no, I think he'll match it. It's just once again, you just can't like it's just a cursed record. But you know what it is? Like when I saw the Chelsea game, I'm a little scared that that record might be getting to his head, and I think he's just trying his best to break the record. I just want it to come naturally. I don't want it to, you know,
Yeah, but
I
that
don't
never
want that to screw up
happens.
his game. But you know what it is, bro?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he is that chance creating monster. He's just a psychopath. He'll just do something, and then one time it'll work. But
Yeah, he is.
yeah, like that's the
He's a
big upgrade this season.
monster.
I feel like,
Yeah.
bro. Since last season, we depended on it for goals and to save our asses
You know what's
in terms of
hilarious?
the score line. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
On the Bruno talk, sorry for interrupting, but on the Bruno talk, I remember there was heavy debates with United fans last season, or like heavy debate within the United fan base. And I watch a good amount of United content creators too, so like I feel like I have a good understanding of where the fan base was, but there was a good like maybe 30 to 40% of the fan base when that Saudi offer came in for like 80 to 100 mil that
Oh,
wanted
for
him
Saudi?
sold.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That wanted him
No,
sold.
that
And you look back at that now, if you guys sold him, you guys where would you guys be?
bro, nowhere. Oh
You
my
guys would
God,
be
dude. I was
you guys would be
no, I
15th or
cannot
something.
believe genuinely I was seeing people and I'm like, people are like, yo, if it's 100 mil, take it. I'm like, are you okay? Like, bro, this is like, what are we? What's going on here? Why are we like? Why is it even a like? Why is it even a debate? Like, we're keeping him, and what does it prove in this season? Like, not only like his quality is heavily shown because everyone knew that he had quality, but just a poor United side. Now that we brought in good attacking players who no longer, he doesn't have to be at the end of he doesn't have to be at the end where the goal goes in. All he has to do is have players that can know how to put the ball in the back of the net. That's all he needs. That's all this team really needed. All we needed was a fresh goalkeeper, someone who we could feel
Yeah.
safe with. By the way, what an invest! Like, I don't think people understand how much Lemons is actually or Lemons has been like a really big impact to our season. Just as our attack, I think it's still on him too. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just these small changes, these small step ups, is what can bring our team to be way better. Obviously, Bruno's at the core, but this is what I like. I remember even you guys were saying. You guys were like, "Yo, like that midfield is still super sus." I 100% agree. It's still very sus. Like that midfield got so exposed in Leeds, and like I was even telling Chris this. Like I was like, Kobe Mainu is one of those players where like you will see the impact of him when he's not there. So that midfield 100% with Casemiro leaving needs that rebuild. You need to get Ugarte out of there, but like for the time being, having those attackers replaced, having Hoyland, Garnacho, Anthony out for Sesko Mbuemo, Cunha, and just getting a goalkeeper that does the basics. Like, look where it brought us. It brought us to where we thought we would never be, which is
Yeah.
top five, top four. So yeah, it's been like has it been painful having to sit and watch one game a week? Yes, but for the long run, I'll say it's worth it.
Do we have time for two more questions here?
Yeah, go
Or
I
on.
what?
mean, fuck, we're already here, bro. It's already an hour 20 in. We might as
All
well.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So my first question I want to ask you is, do you think Michael Carrick gets the full time, gets to continue on as manager of Man United after the season?
I For one, obviously the answer depends on who's available.
Mhm.
But for two, one like something I did mention in the beginning, what I'm really worried about is that since like I would say like the Spurs game or since we played West Ham, I feel like our intensity has been going down and down and down. I don't know what it is, but you know,
Tired.
the attack sometimes is just
Fatigue,
not.
fatigue. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't say fatigue, bro. We play once a week, but
No, but it's also what I've heard is I've heard that when Carrick came in, he lowered the intensity of training and he just made it more like vibes, like
yeah,
genuinely,
yeah,
because he
yeah.
thought that that's
No,
what
no,
you
no, I
guys
know.
needed. So like, and
Yeah,
then and then that's probably started to have a negative impact because you guys are training
no,
with
100%.
less
I was gonna get to
intensity,
that.
right?
Yes, yes, yes. I was gonna get to that. So, like, that is a big part, and like, I understand, right? For the time being, like, sure, it's good enough, but like, bro, you see what happened with the Leeds game? Like, we didn't play for like 2 to 3 weeks. We came back, and it felt like we were seeing an Amram side again, like a side that just didn't know what the heck they were doing. So that's the one thing I'm scared about, and if you can show that, these players still have that dog in them, they can still fight till the end, then maybe I can see some positive vibes. But right now, I'm on the side
Mm.
that says, as of now, I don't think he deserves it. Um, but it's not. I'm not gonna blame anyone that says I think he deserves it. But I think for the short term, he's the right answer. Long term, right now, I'm on like a 70% no, 30% yes.
Yeah.
But
And
also
then
depends on
what?
how we play for the rest of the season. That's a big
Yeah.
depending factor.
Yeah. And I guess the follow up to that, which I'm now thinking of, is if Carrick goes in the summer, who
Yep.
would be your like ideal realistic replacement for Carrick? You'd want to see in the door. Who would it be?
Not gonna lie, but I forgot who was already available. I remember, if we're talking about like
You
something like
got
all
Enzo
the
Maresca.
Enzo Maresca, Glasner leaving.
Although I feel like Enzo Maresca is gonna go to City, right? I feel like
Yeah, I
Maresca
know.
is
I
gonna go
think
to
I think
City.
that was closed off. I think Xavier Hernandez was um a talking point when we are looking at new managers, when we're looking at interns.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's a tough question.
There's also other people you can try to bait in. Like you can try to bait like, I mean, you never know what'll happen. But if Cesc Fabregas looks for a bigger move,
Sorry, who?
Cesc Fabregas.
Oh, Fabregas. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's just tough to assess the situation right now because for one, I don't know those managerial profiles too well. I don't know how what kind of ideology they have in football. I don't know if that
Hmm.
links well with Man United because look what happened with Amram. He was a successful manager, but I mean, like I'm saying, obviously before he came to United,
Yeah,
but he was well proven. But a lot of the stuff that he believed in, his stubbornness, that's what led to his downfall at United,
yeah,
and also led to the downfall of United. So. I think like right now it's just not a good time to answer that question. I think it's something that has to be at like the end of the season type of talk. But
fair. When you have like a better sense of
it
what
would have a
happens right
better
now.
when we have a better understanding of where the team is at right now. Like for example, like we have to see how we perform against Brentford, against Liverpool. We still have 5 games left, so it
Hmm.
depends on that a lot too.
But like your dream, what's your dream guy coming in the door?
If we're talking about like so diluted, if we're talking
So
about 100
diluted. Yeah,
percent delusion, bro, obviously I was gonna say Luis Enrique.
fair,
Yeah,
fair.
He's
obviously I
gonna
was gonna say
stay
the
at
only
he's
thing.
gonna stay at PSG, I think.
No, I'm pretty sure he will stay at PSG, but like I said, if you're talking about 100% delusion, it's going to be Luis Enrique.
Hmm. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Enrique to Man United next season, hopefully. Pray to
Oh,
God.
fuck no. What the hell? What do you mean pray to God? This is one of your rivals, bro. You guys lost in the UCL final to these guys. What are we doing here?
7-1. Yo, by the way, I forgot, like, we kind of moved on from your topic a little too soon. You kind of went too much into the business side of your part. But, yo, you guys haven't scored a Premier League goal since March 4th.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
The last time we scored a goal, the Strait of Hormuz was open.
Sorry, from what?
The Strait of Hormuz was open the last time we scored a goal.
It's just crazy, bro. Because I was looking at it, I'm like, bro. So it was Aston Villa 4-1, and then after that in the Prem, I know we had the FA Cup and international break and whatnot, but
Yeah, yeah,
Newcastle 1-0, Everton 3-0, City 3-0, and then us 1-0.
yeah. No
It's just
goals in
crazy,
front.
man. It's just crazy.
It really has dried up, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, I think that'll wrap it up for this game week. Anyone have any last anything else to say?
Fuck no. Also,
Hopefully
actually,
the guy with the Arsenal bottle has much more to celebrate.
It was a little bit cringe, but
nah. I do
a
have
little bit.
one
Yeah,
more
here,
thing to
here,
say. I do
relax.
have one more thing to say.
Yeah.
I know 99% of people think this title race is over. I don't think it's over. So I think
No, no, that's just to put the pressure on, bro. No one actually thinks it's over.
No, it's not
I
over.
think there's one more twist in the tail. We'll just see if we're still around to see that twist out. I think if we win our last 5 games, we will win the league. It's just because I think City will drop points once. It's just will we do that? I don't know. But that's my final thing to say, I guess.
May the cards be hopefully in your favor.
You
Hopefully
do
not
not hope
actually, but
that. Yeah, you do not hope that.
hopefully not actually, but you know what I mean. I don't think Ashford wants it either.
No, Ashwin. Yo, this is. You know what? Let me be honest. Ashwin won't want it now, but in 10 or 20 years, unless United actually go on another spree of winning titles, which I doubt it, because I don't think that's where the league is heading in terms of spree of titles. Um, Ashwin and those United fans that have wanted City to win this title over us.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
Okay,
on, hold
fine,
on. Why
fine.
is my
Okay,
name?
fine. Okay,
Hold on,
fine,
wait.
fine.
Why is my name being put in
Okay,
there?
okay. You know,
I
fine,
literally,
fine.
the beginning of this
Okay,
podcast, I said it was a lose-lose for me.
okay, okay. But yeah, of course. But there's people that preferred City over Arsenal because of the rivalry growing up, right? And I'm saying
That's not me
those
though.
fans will very much regret it when they realize how close City are to their heritage.
Because
City have done their legendary three-peat that United had. They've done that and bettered it by doing a four. They've done the treble just like United have, killing that too, right? The only other things is the 20. But if Liverpool get 21, then no one cares about Man United's 20. And City, because it's just the amount of money they invest, they will keep on winning. So there's it's in the next 10 or 20 years, the gap of titles will be so much closer than people think. And people will come back to this era of us versus them when they were supporting them versus us. And they will 100% regret it. Because, yeah, we're a big club. And obviously, you'd hate to see us win. But you'd much rather see us win than see Liverpool win. And in the future, City. But, hey, man.
no, 100%. For one, I don't think anyone wants to see you guys lose because of you guys being a big club. Everyone wants to see you guys lose because of your fan base.
No, but it's also because of the rivalry.
But
United fans go rivalry. Like United fans are
sure,
all
yeah, yeah, no, no,
this.
no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
we're
I
bigger,
get that. No, no,
big.
and
We're Arsenal's our bigger rival because they grew up in London, that type of thing.
no, no, no. I for sure. And yeah, we're gonna like City are reaching that pivot of where we kind of start dropping off. But once again, answer depends on whether Pep leaves or not. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't think we're gonna be looking back to this specific season. Like we can, shit happened. We're not gonna look back and be like, yo, if only Arsenal won that league. I don't
No,
think
no,
that's gonna
no.
happen.
That's not my
You
point.
know what
My
I'm
point
saying?
is trust me. It will. In hindsight, people will look back. Let's say it goes to City having 14 leagues, 15 leagues. Right? We have 13, right? So let's say they have 14 or 15
Mhm.
total, and they're approaching. You guys haven't won a league yet. It will get to the point where people are like, "Damn, like we were on the wrong side of history, voting for one group where we should have voted for the other." It will, it will, it will come back. Cause United fans will regret it, man. You never vote. You never support for a club like that has infinite money, and then it not bite you in the ass. They'll catch up.
I mean, these guys are criminals, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not even a part of that category, so I have
Hey,
nothing to say to that.
the one
So
thing I will say is we live in the present, and the president is saying an Arsenal bottle would be pretty funny to see right now.
Oh, for you, you guys are already like.
you guys and the Spurs are on the same boat, which is kind of scary to be honest.
There's only one thing. There's only two things I'm looking forward to the rest of the
Can I be
season.
honest?
One is a eventual Arsenal bottle, and two is playing Spurs on the second last match day.
Can I be honest? In
Yeah.
we have more titles than City and you guys right now, right?
Yeah.
City have the Champions League one time. You guys have it twice. We have it zero times. They are not that far off of history looking at them and thinking, oh, they did what Chelsea did, just did it better and sustained it better. History might already look at it as that. So you guys should have already been thinking about your guys' legacy versus that club. But I get it. You'd rather them win versus us. But I'm just saying, man.
It's a
Every
London
team,
club versus a London club, right?
yeah, but every team that supports City, it will. I don't think it'll. For all these big clubs, I don't think it's one of those things where and it's like when everyone used to support. I don't know, like it's like it's like supporting a little club to beat the big club when the little club is doing it by cheating. It never. I don't think it ever is a good thing or works out well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's a good thing for the sport for the whole sport to be united against us in support of a cheating club. Like that doesn't really make sense. But hey, man. Anyway,
Wait, what? Hold on, wait, what?
bro. You didn't listen. It is what it is, bro. Can we just like we gotta wrap this shit up? It's 1 hour and 35 minutes.
Yeah, let's wrap it. Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
All I heard was United. I was like, well, why am I?
I did not say
All right.
United, bro. I literally did not
You
say
did say
United.
United.
I said United, but not Manchester United. Like I was talking about United as the word. It's fine. Anyway.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that
Would
makes
you
sense.
like to wrap it up, Bastion?
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right.